Alright, buckle up, because this story is the kind that grabs you by the collar and refuses to let go. This isn't light content. This isn't background noise. This is the kind of footage that makes a nation pause and ask uncomfortable questions. And trust me, if you watch this to the end, your own opinion might completely change. Picture this. You're staring at the camouflage of the Nigerian Armed Forces, a uniform that represents authority, sacrifice, discipline, and the sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That uniform is supposed to strike fear into criminals hiding in forests, mountains, and borderlands. It's supposed to symbolize power, order, and national control. But what surfaced online today flips that image upside down. This is not a soldier in combat. This is not a soldier on patrol. This is a soldier on his knees. Yes, on his knees. A fully equipped Nigerian Navy commando, trained for combat on land and sea, captured on video kneeling in reverence before the controversial cleric, Sheikh Gumi. Not a casual greeting. Not a respectful nod. Not a standard military courtesy. This was full physical submission, body lowered, posture humble, presence deferential. And the internet exploded. Today is Thursday, January 29, 2026, and Nigerians everywhere are asking the same burning question. If the military bows to Sheikh Gumi, how can they ever arrest him? This isn't clickbait. This isn't exaggeration. This is a raw national debate unfolding in real time across WhatsApp groups, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook timelines, and late-night discussions in homes across the country. Let's break down why this single moment is sending shockwaves through the nation. For years, Sheikh Gumi has been at the center of controversy. He has openly spoken in defense of bandits, called for amnesty for criminal groups, and even compared armed groups to freedom fighters. His statements have repeatedly stirred outrage among citizens, analysts, and security experts. At the same time, the military itself has publicly warned against rhetoric that undermines troop morale. Defense Headquarters has cautioned opinion leaders against statements that demoralize soldiers risking their lives daily in places like Zamfara, Kaduna Forest, and remote northern communities. Yet here we are. Instead of seeing accountability, instead of seeing investigation, instead of seeing enforcement, we see a soldier kneeling. Imagine being a young corporal stationed in the bush, sleeping on cold ground, dodging ambushes, losing colleagues, and risking your life daily to protect innocent villagers. You're told your mission is to defeat bandits who kidnap school children, burn villages, and destabilize communities. Then you open your phone, and you see a Navy commando kneeling before a man widely perceived as sympathetic to those same bandits. What message does that send? Does it say, this man is under scrutiny? Or does it scream, this man is untouchable? Morale matters in warfare. Optics matter in leadership. And symbols matter in nation building. When authority appears confused, confidence erodes, not just among soldiers, but among citizens. Many Nigerians are now saying this video confirms what they've suspected for years, that Nigeria operates with two sets of rules. If an ordinary citizen makes half of the controversial statements attributed to Gumi, security agencies may show up before the tweet even finishes uploading. Yet this same figure has moved freely, spoken boldly, and even claimed at one point that he was allegedly on a U.S. elimination list following air operations in Sokoto. Instead of handcuffs, he receives honor. Instead of questioning, he receives reverence. That contrast is fueling outrage. And let's address the cultural angle honestly. Yes, in many Nigerian traditions, kneeling is a sign of respect for elders, religious leaders, and authority figures. Nobody is denying that. Culture matters. Respect matters. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you wear the uniform of the Nigerian Armed Forces, you no longer represent just yourself or your upbringing. You represent the state. You represent the Constitution. You represent the authority of the Republic. That uniform carries power and responsibility. When that uniform kneels before a private citizen, especially one surrounded by controversy, the line between religious authority and state authority becomes dangerously blurred. People begin to wonder, who truly holds influence? Who commands loyalty? Who answers to whom? Critics are already calling this footage the final confirmation that Sheikh Gumi is politically untouchable. They argue that if soldiers themselves show this level of deference, then any talk of arrest or accountability becomes nothing more than empty noise. Some analysts even warn that this image sends a silent message to criminal groups: your mediator is protected. Your connection runs deep. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, perception shapes reality, especially in fragile security environments. And now, the silence from military leadership is deafening. No clarification yet. No official statement yet. No explanation yet. Was the soldier acting personally? Was this sanctioned? Will disciplinary steps be taken? Or will this story quietly fade like so many others? One thing is certain: you cannot unsee what you've seen. You cannot erase the image of a commando kneeling. You cannot easily rebuild the symbolism once authority bends. You cannot easily convince the public that everyone is equal before the law when visuals tell a different story. So here's the question Nigerians are wrestling with tonight, and I want you to genuinely reflect on this. Is this harmless cultural respect? Or is it a dangerous compromise of military professionalism? Can a man who kneels to someone realistically be expected to arrest that same person if the law demands it? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. If you value fearless conversations like this, hit the like button so more people see it. Share it so the discussion stays alive. And if you're not yet subscribed, turn on notifications because this story is far from over. Because one haunting question remains in the air. Is Sheikh Gumi simply a cleric, or one of the most powerful untouchable figures in Nigeria today? And Nigeria is watching closely for the answer.